The name's JonMac, pro fighter, published author, public speaker. And for the last few years, I've been living life in a van. Meet Appa, my Japanese-inspired tea house on wheels. Welcome in. Coffee, tea, whiskey. That's how it begins. My podcast. The one where we sit and talk about life. Thoughts, stories, human things. You know human things. The things that make us human. If that's your cup of tea, then welcome in. Drinks on me. Welcome in.
Yo, how y'all doing?
Dozo.
Oh, it's cracking, man.
It's cracking, dog.
Doing all right.
Good morning, man.
Good morning. Thanks for having me, bro.
Yeah, bro. Thanks for being here. I'm gonna pour us up some waters real quick.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, that'd be great.
I haven't had my morning coffee yet. Are you a coffee drinker?
Yeah, I am. That would be great.
Cool.
I haven't had it either. I was just like, yo, this works out.
Yep. All right, so I'll get those going. Oh, actually, I got a new candle, but I haven't opened it yet. You want to do coconut and honey or vanilla and bergamot? I don't know if bergamot's how you pronounce that.
I don't even know what that is.
You want to fuck with that one then?
Oh, we'll find out. Yeah.
Here. Oh, how about you do a smell test? You do a smell test.
Oh, this is actually pretty cool though.
This one right here? All right, we're rocking coconut and honey.
Interesting. Shit.
Trying new things, man. You know how it is an artist. You got to experiment with different shit.
You have to. You really do. You can't just be doing the same things over and over. Truly are Inspector Gadget. That's crazy.
Honestly, dude, when you start to live in a van, you become really efficient at the things that you have. You know, even like, oh yeah, I use this all the time, or this and that. You're like, actually, I don't. Or can I have a different tool instead to be minimal? Because you only get this amount of space. Everything has to have a purpose.
That's fire though, because you so limited. Everything must be efficient, functional.
What else do I need in here?
You got the mat. It's tight.
I didn't have a mat the whole first season. I was just using like a microfiber cloth, and then it was like, all right, dude, like now you got to start upgrading. This isn't that cold.
So the folks who built this out for you, did like, how was that process actually?
So I basically found a builder. Well, I didn't find it. One of my friends had like stumbled upon them and he's like, hey, these guys are like working on these vans, I was in the market for a builder. The original idea was like, I wanted to build this shit myself, which it would...
Hey, that would have been a nightmare, low-key.
A nightmare. But you have these fantasies, right? Oh, I'm going to learn all these skills, like, you know what I mean? And then I got to the point I was like, yeah, motherfucker, you ain't building shit, dog. So I basically found a builder, and I already had an idea, right? I wanted to create this, like, Japanese tea house vibe, aesthetic, this and that. I kind of had, like, a mood board. I had a bunch of images saved. Not even just van images, but, like, Japanese libraries or tea houses. Like, I like the motif of this. I like this vibe of this. Like, how can we bring it? And then I met this dude... who I'm actually going to have on the podcast this season. So that's going to be cool for him to talk about his like experience with building this. But I basically was like, can you like execute this vision? You know, and I saw some of his work and he's like, yeah. So I was like, all right, dude. And I went purely on vibe. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know anything about this space. Yeah. And then we basically just sat down and started like curating this. And like I was saying earlier, like I had this idea for a door here, and then I was gonna put the mirror right here, but he was like, yo dog, like let me hook you up, like I got some fucking, you know, switching this, and then hit him with the like secret mirror door.
Like, yeah, no, you know that still like, blows my mind. It's like that was there, dude.
Yeah, I was like, dang, dude, you're hella sick. Like, so yeah, there was a few things. Like, I think in the beginning when I was just playing it out, like I almost wanted to have the kitchen this way, and you know, but then I couldn't get through the door. Again, you're just like making all these ideas. So he was helpful in that because he had lived in a van. So he's like, you think you want this dog, but you don't want this. You know what I mean?
Nah, you think you do.
Yeah.
I have no idea what that's gonna do.
Okay, what am I doing here? I'm all distracted now. Spilling all over the place. It's real life though, man. I don't know Hollywood shit.
This is tight. Cause I was like looking around here, like wow. Cause as soon as you mentioned that these were like even, you know, cause this is a van, they're not straight.
Yeah, it's a little
Yeah,
contour.
that's why I was just like, who built this out? Because if you did try to do this out, you would have to figure that out. It's like, oh man, how do we bend wood?
It's like I'm over,
It's like, how do we do that, dude?
I'm over here fucking with like Duplo Legos, like trying to build a truck, and
It's like, it's not the same.
But yeah, man, I'm really happy with how the van came out. Definitely one of a kind. All right.
So dope.
Even all this stuff, I didn't have like all this like weighing scale shit.
It's so necessary.
But you know what?
Yeah, so necessary.
It's hella extra, but like why not? Like why not fuck around and do some shit like that?
Nah, it's hella funny because I like low-key take coffee somewhat seriously, only because the people who put me on coffee taught me that, right? And then like that was all I knew, and then like when I realized, it's like, damn, bro, like I didn't know that since your standard was so high that it became mine.
Yeah. Now that's just what I fuck with.
Yeah, because then everyone's like, you really just have a hand grinder in like, because every morning I actually keep my kettle in my room, so as soon as I wake up, I'm already on it. And then while everyone already like gets grounded beans, like, nah, I hand grind mine every morning. And they're like, are you serious? I'm like, well, yeah, why not? Like, and everyone's just like, this is all in your room? It's just like,
Yeah, I love the ritual of it.
yeah, it's truly a ritual, truly, truly.
So okay, so you hand grind your beans. What do? You do pour over? What's your
Just pour overs. But it's like, it's funny because like I was just taught to do pour overs. If you were to ask me to do anything else, so like I don't even know how to do any other, like, because like I said, I only drink black coffee, right? So
Me too.
You don't need to think about nothing. Like, cool, we got our cup, we're ready to go. Like, you know.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to learn more. Like I was fucking up on some of the podcasts because it was like the one that I just posted, episode 2. I was like grinding the beans for fucking ever. I was just like nervous, just like talking, just fucking grinding the beans, and fine as fuck. The fucking
Fine.
So that it took forever for the water to drip, dog.
Exactly.
It was terrible. I'm gonna pause you for a second.
Oh, you do. It would take forever. But that's the stuff with coffee you do learn, because you know, with the hand grinder you could adjust it, but once you won't know until you're done grinding that little thing, and then it's like, all right, it's too fine. The next day, you know.
Yeah.
And that's what's kind of cool about it. And then once you dial in your grinder, it's like, okay, cool, we're good for now. It's like a whole thing.
It's like life, right? You just gotta experiment on a daily basis. And
Nah,
make
the
some
daily
adjustments.
basis part is so real, because the adjustment part, you know, nothing's ever perfect the first time. Not even the second time, dude. Like, definitely not even the second time.
Yeah,
nah, dude, you're still on it, you know?
I just started learning how to make matcha as well.
See, that's sick. That's something I'd want to learn.
But I'm like literally just learning on YouTube. Like I'm trying to have an actual matcha sensei.
No,
But
at some point, you know, it's cool because like this is how I feel about things like that. Do the whole learn on your own point until it's time to find a mentor for that, and then you come to that person with what you know, and they'll be like, "All right, dog. First of all," or they'll fill in the gaps. You know?
Yeah.
That's what's dope.
But you got to show up and do the work, because like if you're inspired to do it, then like just go pick it up and do it. You want to go learn how to draw with this? Just
dude, 100%, man. Like if you want to learn something, it's out there. The resources are definitely out there now too.
yeah.
Like, man, whatever, and be like, yo, we be doing crazy random things. Where'd you learn that? I'm like, YouTube, man.
Dude, is YouTube not the best teacher?
No, dude, I tell people
Like,
I live on YouTube, dude. I like live on YouTube. That's my most used app, honestly. It's crazy. Everyone was like, you be on there? I'm like, I have premium. It's worth it. Like, I don't have ads, so I just get to whatever I want.
That's great. See, I don't have premium. I might need to fuck with that.
No, I be trying to preach to that, dude. 'Cause, like, I tell, like, not everyone needs it, but if you live on YouTube, dude, yeah, it might be worth.
Well, that's about to be my new life, right? I'm like trying to be this YouTuber, podcaster guy now, so that might be the move. That's for you. That's for me.
Awesome.
Gotta get the Japanese beer glasses from Daiso.
Oh, dog, they are though. Yeah, that's crazy. Daiso sells. It would be Daiso.
It would be Daiso, dog. Yeah.
Sick, dude. It'd be crazy if like a year from now you have just one of those vending machines somehow in here.
A little small one right here, like they have those mini arcades, and you fucking.
It's just like, what the hell? It's just like, yeah, you need some.
And you got to use actual yen, like.
Yo, that'd be fire. Actually, that'd be crazy.
Hey, who knows? I don't know where. Oh shit, I don't know where this is gonna go, but I'm just gonna keep going.
No, this is fire, dude.
All right, looks like this first cup is brewed, so we'll rock this, and then like I said, at some point those motherfuckers will probably turn off, so I'll make us another cup at that point.
All good. Wow, sink cover and chopping board. That's crazy.
Although I don't actually use it as a chopping board.
Okay.
Just because it's like in the van, I always have the like doors open, so like all the dust be coming in. So I'm like, I'd rather just have a clean chopping board that I just like keep in here.
Makes sense.
What I mean?
Makes sense.
But it was meant to be that, right?
That's so crazy.
All right, this is for you, sir.
Appreciate you.
Be careful,
I
that cup is
that.
hot. All right, we're gonna take this down now and take this with us. Oh shit! Good thing I got Spidey like reflexes, dog.
No, yeah, you're on it. Didn't even need a cup of coffee yet. You was like, yo.
Okay. Ooh, let me slide up in here. Oh, let me fix this. You know, my OCD, this would be bothering me, y'all. It's not really OCD, but
You just see it, but like, hey, man.
as an artist, we have our standards.
No, you saw it and you dealt with it. You know, nah, that's real. That's real.
All right, let me change this to narrow. Oh. Let's see how that looks. All right, that looks cool. I think.
Okay,
All right,
it's all silent
do a little
now.
check. Do a little check. That looks cool. That looks cool.
Do not disturb. There you
How about
go.
this one? That looks cool. All right. Let me settle in here.
You on it, man.
Oh, yeah, baby. Wait, where's my other block? Don't mind me, guys. Just figuring myself out, as always. Right on, bro. Cheers, man.
Cheers, bro. Good morning.
Good morning. Oh, yeah.
There you go. Needed
All
that.
right.
Needed that.
So we're back at the table. Another episode. I think you are episode 4 of season 2. I got my homie Richmond here, Mayupao. Bro, thank you for being on the podcast.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
Hell
Thanks
yeah,
for having
dog.
me.
Hell
I'm
yeah.
juiced to be in the space even.
Hell yeah.
I was like, I'm in here finally. Sick.
Yeah. And for all you anime heads out there, if you notice the sweater
Yeah.
matches the artwork in here.
Shout out. Yo, did I tell you I picked up the same print from him?
Oh no, you did.
Dude, wait, did you cop that online or?
I didn't cop it online. My homie Randy, who I'm also gonna have on this podcast, he went to Comic-Con one year, and
he was at Comic-Con then.
Yeah, he picked up a couple of pieces for me. That was one of them, and he picked up an Avatar one for me. But that one's a lot bigger, so that didn't fit in here. And this just, I'm like a Ronin right now. You know what I mean? Just this fucking wandering samurai. So it fit the fucking motif.
Yeah, dude's a cool guy. I happened to meet him at a Fanime one year. And like that was one of the pieces he had up. And as a watercolor artist myself, I was looking at his work like, yo, you own the medium.
Dog,
Like,
he's fucking good.
that's what I'm saying, like, cause he has a true gritty with it, and that's the beautiful thing about watercolor. Like, sometimes it's not you, it's the paint. You gotta let the paint do the job, and it's like a relationship with the paint. You don't tell it what to do, cause all those little splashes, he didn't choose for them to be there.
Right.
No, the brush and gravity did its thing, kind of thing. So which is kind of dope, and like like that kind of style, you need to let go to have. And that's what I appreciate about that dude. I was like, wow, bro, this guy right here.
Bro, you just dropped hella gems in there right now. Let me just no, for real. But, you know, about letting go, about not controlling the water, about
dude, because that's what it is, man.
Dog, you're straight a philosopher right now.
Like, bro, that's the thing about watercolor. Like, when I really got into it, everyone was like, why water? And I was like, why? Because I don't have control. You're playing with control. You're never fully in control because the water's going to do what it wants to do. And you have to just understand that and let it do. And then you could guide it, do whatever, but whatever happens, happens. And it's like, you know, it's not fully in your control. And some people don't know this, but you can't just layer over sometimes. Watercolor is so transparent that if there is a mistake, you don't paint over it. It's going to be seen throughout the entire painting, no matter what. So if something happens, you roll with it, you know? Which is life.
Dude, I was gonna say, what a beautiful way to look at life.
Yeah.
Right? To know that you don't have control, but you can guide it, or, you know, like to accept the blemishes, dog. Like,
yeah, and that's the part of the letting go. Because when you talk to any other, like if acrylic or oil painters, if there's something wrong, it's cool, we'll paint over it later.
Yeah.
But you don't have that luxury here. Like, nah, you just let it be.
Yeah,
like,
there ain't no control Z, dog. Like,
nah, yeah, and that's like, it's frustrating at first, but then once you really get to know it, it's like, oh, wow, we're just tight. It's just jazz, you know?
Okay. Oh, bro, yes. We're going to get into jazz. Let me pin that real quick, because I do have a... There's not going to be enough time. I already feel this. How... You've been doing art pretty much your entire life, would you say?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
And you started getting into watercolor when?
Yeah, exactly 10 years ago, like 2015.
2015?
Yeah, around that time.
Okay. What was the move of that? What was the inspiration behind going towards watercolor?
Whoa, that one's crazy. It's gonna be random. You ever watch this anime called Your Lie in April?
No.
It's still
I feel like
April.
I've heard of it, but yeah, no.
Well, basically, it's a dope show. I won't even explain what it's about because I definitely, anyone who's hearing this, if you've seen it before, you know. But like the art of it was crazy. I would see the background art and I was just mind blown. Like, whoa, this looks wild. And this is like the first time I saw anime try to do backgrounds looking somewhat real. And then after watching that and the events that happened in the show made me like want to reclaim the artist in me.
Ooh.
And like before the painting, I was only doing black and white pen stuff, or if I was painting, it's like spray paint tagging stuff. So there was no real brush work. I never really wanted to mess with paint brushes or nothing like that until that show. And then I was just like, just motivated by seeing what those artists have done. Because also the backgrounds that they did, those are real places in Tokyo.
Oh, sick.
So I was just like, when I found that out, I was just like, oh, so that, no wonder why. Like, so like there's a certain bridge there and it's a real bridge. And I was like, yo, that's sick. Okay. And then I picked it up and then found my frustrations, but ended up liking it because it was so new to me. Like we were saying earlier, like, you know, at the time I was just drawing, pen work, whatever, but it got bland and I got bored, but I didn't realize I was bored because I was limiting myself, you know? And it took that time to like do something completely oppositely new. And then I ended up like gravitating toward it, like, oh, wow, this is dope. I could grow here because it's something I don't know.
Yeah.
You know?
Did you pick up that brush like how we were talking about earlier? Like, did you ever have a mentor in that? Or you're just like, I'm already an artist, so like I can just pick up this medium and kind of figure it out?
So, pretty much I just figured it out. But at some point I was like, okay, how do we do this? And then luckily YouTube kind of helped out. We found some folks. I have a like family who does art too, so they guided me and showed me resources. They at least showed me like, okay, tight.
Yeah.
Look at this guy, James Gurney. James Gurney, so I think he lives in the Bay. He's like this dope plein air artist. So he just does like watercolor and gouache. And in fact, by any weird chance, you ever used to read the Dinotopia books?
No.
Okay, because he's like the dude behind that.
Okay.
So he would paint these like places, sometimes real, sometimes made up, but he would like put dinosaurs in them and he'd paint them out. But he has like a whole YouTube series just showing folks how to paint with gouache, and I was like, oh, tight. So that's how you do that. That's how you do this. And then I fill in those gaps, whatever.
Yeah.
And then eventually, like I mentioned gouache. Do you know what gouache is, Monty?
No, I was gonna ask you.
Yeah. I was just like, hold up, I already.
I was gonna wait till you finish that
like
thought,
skip
though,
ahead.
right?
Gouache is like a more opaque watercolor.
Okay.
So watercolor is truly like transparent. When you hit gouache, you're hitting the in-between of like acrylic and watercolor.
Okay.
So he was doing some cool stuff, and I was like, yo, that's crazy. And then come to find out, that's what Studio Ghibli does for their backgrounds. And that led down a whole nother, and then it was just me trying to chase my heroes of background art, like, yo, that's crazy. So this is how y'all were doing this the whole time? Because as a kid, I was just like, how did you guys do that, you know?
Yeah, it's just fucking magic. It looks so great.
Yeah, and then like I like look into it. I ended up finding like the folks who, luckily there are some artists who worked with Ghibli who were generous enough to even publicly show, yeah, this is behind the scenes, you know. And I was just like, dog, so this is what y'all do? Like, and some of those paintings, those backgrounds you see, which blows my mind sometimes in the movie, you might have 2 seconds of it on screen, but it might have took them 2 weeks to paint.
Isn't that so crazy? Just that whole world, the whole Ghibli world, like how like they'll spend a whole year on like, about that was only 30 seconds of the movie. But
yeah,
they will literally commit themselves so fully to that craft. Like, oh my God.
No, that does blow my mind, because there was like, on an animation tip, I don't know much about animation, but did you ever watch Howl's Moving Castle?
I've seen a few, but like I never like.
No, I feel it. There's like this crazy scene where a lot is going on, a whole lot's going on, and then so much animation from like the ground level, because the characters are up high here looking down, but they're moving. So a bunch of moving parts are moving. I'm just like, y'all hand did that? And then I think they did say it did take years for that 15-second clip or whatever.
Yeah, it's wild.
I'm like, bro, that's wow. Like, how frustrated were y'all?
How frustrated?
No, like I wonder that, because the fact that y'all were so down and committed, so you knew this had to be done, but it couldn't have been easy.
Yeah.
You know, how frustrated were y'all, and how did you sit with that frustration to keep moving forward and like, no, we're gonna keep doing the best we can every day until it's done, you know?
Well, I mean, you also got the fucking Japanese blood force freaking running through them of just
like for real, like that whole culture they have is still mind-blowing, man. I just don't understand how it works, because their society even runs on a code. Like, we're not even on an individual level. Like, society itself there is cool. So you know that work ethic on the individual level would be dope, because everyone's just like that. So to think that in an art studio, wow, how high are those standards, you know?
Right. Can't even comprehend almost.
No, I really can't. Like, I'll be wondering that, because then one of the dudes who's really generous enough to show his process, even how he got into Ghibli, he talks about how he was nervous. He basically finished up school in oil painting, and then he saw job listings up on a board that Ghibli was hiring. So he said, you know what? Why not, dude? Let me just try out, you know? So he pulled up on an audition. There were like, I think 5 other dudes there, and then they were all painting, and he was the least talented one.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and he was just like, fuck, dude. And he just looking over like, damn, bro. All right, I'm gonna just do what I do. And then he talks about there was a point he knew, like, damn, I think I'm not gonna get this job, so I'm just gonna cruise and have fun while I'm here. And he took a break and had lunch and stuff while everyone else worked their asses off. And then what was crazy, Ghibli actually noted that. And then they talked to him about it, and then when he went back to work, they like made the other guys, hey, go eat, dude. Like, you guys have been at it for 7 hours straight. You gotta do something. Yeah. But they ended up talking to him like, hey, the fact that you took your break let us know that you cared about yourself. So we like that, because in this world, you have to take care of yourself enough to do the work. So he ended up getting the job.
Dude.
Yeah, he was just like, wait, what, dude?
Good job, bro.
Yeah, like, he was just like, oh, well, no way, dude. And he was just like, bro, everyone else, he was so talented. But then they were like, well, they're going to burn out faster.
Yeah.
Like, we can't have burnt out people working here, because that's going to be a whole problem eventually.
Yeah.
Because it's all about
We can't have you burn out, dog, if I need you to draw this 30-second clip, but it's going to take you a year to do it.
No, that makes more sense now. That actually makes more sense now. Because they were like, yeah, dude, like, there are going to be times where you're going to be doing something frustrating, but if you're not taking care of yourself mentally, then we're just gonna have roadblocks, and that's not how the actual culture should work. It's about that balance, like how can you work hard but still be able to not, tip the scale over, you know? Right. I was like, wow, dude, and to think that Japanese people just probably live that way, it's like, whoa, y'all, something.
Okay, so speaking about Japanese people, actually there's so many times where you're talking that I'm like, oh yeah, like let's go down that fucking rabbit hole, right? And then like two sentences later, I'm like, oh, let's go down that rabbit hole. So we're probably gonna be jumping all over the place, but And they may even tie together. Because earlier you said something about plain. What is it?
Oh, plein air. Yeah.
Plein air. Okay, so tell me what that is, because I follow you on Instagram, both like your art page and your personal page, and you were doing that like April or plain whatever or something in nature. Can you unravel? Because you're painting you were painting like places like, oh, this is a bar in Osaka, kind of like how earlier you were talking about, oh, they were watercoloring real places. Is that like part of the inspo? Like, no, yeah. Fucking break that down for me, dog.
So plein air is a French term. It literally, I think it literally means open air, and the whole point of open air means you're outside. So when you see someone painting outside, like literally outside, that's true plein air.
Okay.
Like where they just set up, have their paints on them, they're and they're just on it, like that's plein air. Which is like dope because when I first got into it, I'm like, okay, that's easy. I've painted from photos before. You pull up on location and you're taking your sweet time, and then you realize, oh, dude, the shadows moved. Fuck. You know, so then now you're like, you know, it trains you to like, oh, dude, I gotta like work faster or visualize and lock in. Because like if you're trying to paint something around sunset, and then the sun does set. And it's like, yo, okay, the colors are all off now, so
100% different now.
Yeah, so it becomes like a different challenge in that case. But that's what plein air is. So you're just really out there. So plein April, that's this challenge that warrior painters from California, it's like a collective of painters, like background artists. They started this April challenge. You ever heard of Inktober?
I have.
Yeah, so this is kind of like our Inktober.
Okay.
So we just paint backgrounds. Just whatever we see. And sometimes it's dope because this be the most mundane things that everyone sees, and we just bring it to life, you know?
But speaking of mundane things, I think it's important to bring the mundane things to life, because we live in a world right now where everything is just the highlight. Everything is chopped 100%. Up, everything is the highlight, but that's not actually life. Like, the mundane is part of it, which is one of the things that people gravitate towards the Studio Ghibli stuff for, is they paint the mundane. They show that. You know, he'll fucking keep a 3-second clip of after the person leaves, he's just like staring off, and all you see is like just the wind going like this for a little bit. You know?
That brings, it's not just a static background. You know, that brought the trees and grass to life, and then you realize, whoa, you know? Because it could have just been static and then like they just animated the characters. But no, they took that extra step to really paint the world for you. Like, this is what you stepped into while you watch this film.
Yeah, and even just the Japanese concept of holding space, because like, let's say this project that I'm working on, right, this podcast, and it's the Japanese tea house. Obviously, there's a Japanese aesthetic to it. There's a few inspirations in like how I wanted to deliver this. Have you ever seen the show on Netflix called Midnight Diner?
Oh, I almost did. I saw it one time, and I like.
Dog, you should go in on that.
It was funny because it was around midnight. I'm asleep, bro.
Dog, you should go in on that. They're only like 20-minute episodes.
Oh, for real? Okay.
Yeah, they're short episodes. I got into it during the pandemic. I was on this whole like wanting to learn Japanese vibe, so I was like doing Duolingo on Japanese on Duolingo.
Shout out Duolingo.
Yeah, and then I was watching like Japanese shows. But one of the things that I liked about that show, one, he basically is a dude who has this restaurant. It's like it's scripted. It's not reality TV. And people come into his bar, and whatever they want to eat, he'll basically make as long as he has the ingredients. So I was like, oh, I kind of like that vibe. I kind of like took inspiration for that for like the drinks and kind of things like that. But I liked how they would keep the emptiness. When there was conversations, there'd be a pause in conversation, and it was kind of empty. Like the director or whatever would like leave that emptiness or space, because that's just life. That's part of the mundane. Like even when I'm like making some stuff for us, or I'm pouring us some water, there's some moments where we're not talking, you know what I mean? Like I'm just pulling out a glass, or I'm just pouring water. You're maybe just looking into the drawer to see like, oh, like how does he organize that? But it's important to keep those little spaces, because like that's really what life is, you know?
No, I like how you point that out, because there was this clip I saw of Hayao Miyazaki like years ago. He was younger and he was visiting an animation school. And then these animation students were like showing drawings of stuff, and then he'd have to stop someone. He said, hey man, sit down at the table and then look at your drawing. How are you sitting compared to that drawing? That's not how people really sit, dude. And then he had to point that out. It's like, we're not like drawing, we're drawing people. Like we're showing what it's really like. And then I like how you pointed, I'm just, you know, looking over That's something they would have animated. You know what I'm saying?
They would have animated that.
They would have animated
like,
that.
Does you looking over at me grabbing a glass have anything to do with this conversation that we're having? No, but it has everything to do with real life.
Exactly.
And this is how we interact, and this is how, you know what I mean? So I'm like, I wanted to bring that in here. I'm still figuring it out, but like the idea is like, I ain't cutting shit. You know what I mean? That was like my MO. Like, you know, people are like, are you gonna do this, edit that? I'm like, no, I want it to be as is. Like, I'm not pruning this bonsai. Like, let's just rock it. Let's see.
So I love how you brought that up, man, because you know I would be growing bonsai.
I know you'd be growing bonsai.
Yeah,
dog.
so like everyone be asking me like, yo, do you always trim it? I'm like, actually no, dude. There are times for years I'll let it grow wild, because you should. Because if you're constantly trying to trim it around, it's never gonna grow. You actually gotta let it do its thing for a few years to let the growth really vigor itself, and then you cut it back. So there are times where like I'm really just chilling and then like having a whatever bonsai year, and then one year I'm like, all right, we're about to do work this year. Like now's the time to just really go in and then repot them, do a bunch of stuff, and then let them sit for 3 years or so again. And that's part of it. Everyone's like, so you're not really doing all the work? Like, no, dude, you just water every day. But the fact that it's so simple, but it's still a daily practice. It's like, it's so simple that you could forget to do it, but you know to do it. That's where the discipline really comes in.
It's like a meditation, dude.
No, truly, because the funniest thing is I can't like have houseplants at all, dude. They die. Like, and it's like for like the funniest reason, everyone's like, you grow bonsai, but you can't keep a houseplant. I'm like, yeah, because houseplants got weird watering schedules. Like, I don't keep track of like, oh, dude, this needs to get watered on Wednesday, that on Friday, that, and like when it's bonsai, it is a daily practice. So you just know, go do it before you leave the house.
Yeah.
Yeah, you just, you know, because it's so that, and then it's so, they grow so slow. Like, even I don't see it, but then when I look at old photos, I'm like, yo, you grew, but I see it every day, so it's...
So you don't see the small increments?
Not at all, dude. That's why, like, when I look at old photos of my first trees, I'm like, dog. Like, I have a maple tree, its trunk is probably this thick now, right? But it was the size of a nickel when I got it.
Oh, shit.
So it grew, and that was the span of like about 10 years. And I was like, dude, that's crazy that it eventually got there.
Is that how long you've been doing bonsai for? 10 years?
Yeah, because around 2015-ish is the same time I got into bonsai, which is wild.
Oh, bonsai and watercolor. Bro, you just went in.
No, yeah, dude, because it was a fun, 2015 was a funny time, dude.
Okay, talk to me a little bit about 2015.
Like,
then. What the fuck is going on in 2015?
I think that was the year I got my barber license, so I was just done with school, right?
Okay.
And then like, it was weird because I think I was like, what, 19 or 20 or so. And I was like, what do I do with my time? And everyone else was in school and I was just chilling, just got to the shop. And I was like, this is weird. So I just work now, huh?
This is it. I guess we're here now.
Yeah, but I was like so young and I was like not used to having that time and none of my friends had the time.
Right, because they're still in school.
Yeah, and they're over here stressing out and I'm over here, I guess I'm gonna get a bike or something. Yeah, like I didn't really know what was going on, and there was no one else I could even relate to with that because everyone else was on their own path.
They're on a completely different path.
Completely different path. So that was when I was like, you know what? We're gonna carve mine. We're gonna figure it out. I don't know what I want to do, but we're gonna do something.
Yep.
Because like around 2015 when I got the barber's license, I was like, tight. There's not necessarily a barber goal anymore. Because before that, I was like, tired. We're going to learn how to cut hair. We're going to get really nice at it. We're going to go to school, get our license. And after that, I hit a weird little realization that, oh, there's no goal. I don't know how to feel about that.
Yeah.
Let's make one or something. Let's get into something. Let's figure something out. And then the bonsai thing was a true joke, honestly. Like, when I tell people how it happened, I was just at a taqueria with my uncle. And then we were talking about the Hayward... Japanese garden.
Okay.
And we would just like visit it and like check it out. We're like, yo, who takes care of these? And then as a joke, we're like, you think people who take care of these know how to like grow tree like cannabis? Like, yo, you know, be funny. What if we learned and then we can bring that to that world, right? And then like the next thing you know, the next time I see him, he gives me this like thing he got from Urban Outfitters, this little box, this bonsai seedling, and then like we tried it out. No, nothing happened. I do not recommend buying those. Like, nah, dude. But then I was like so upset. I was like, man, dude, I was excited. Wooty woo. Yeah. The next thing you know, we found a bonsai nursery in Hayward, and then we just pulled up like a week after that, and then R.I.P. Sensei. That was a cool dude. Ooh. But Hella crazy.
Cheers to Sensei.
Cheers to Sensei, man. Like I love telling people this story right here. When we pulled up, he has a spot on Grove Way. I don't even know if it's still there after you pass, but it's gated up. And then as soon as we pulled up on a Saturday morning, he just opened up his gate, and we walk up toward him, and we were like, "Is this the bonsai spot?" Like, "Yeah, you're here for that? Cool. Go ahead inside." He's just watering stuff in the front. It's a house. It is not like, you know,
an establishment.
No, yeah, it is a house, dude. And then he just told us to go inside, and we're like, "Okay, tight." And then we went inside, and no one was in the house, and it was like, this dude let us in his house. They don't even know who we are.
Still in the front watering.
Yeah, still in the front watering, and he's just like, "What the hell, bro?" Like, all right, cool. And then like he just saw us standing there, and he's like, "No, go in the back." So we like walk through the house to go to his backyard, and as soon as we see the nursery, we're just like, "What the hell?" Because there was just green everywhere, just trees everywhere. And then the wildest thing that I like will never forget, he just let us walk around, did not even talk to us. He would just leave us on our own and just have us have our awe moments. Yeah. Just looking at trees. We literally went through every aisle looking at every tree. Like, some of them are growing out of rocks. And we were like, how does he do that? And then eventually, like literally it took 30 minutes to do that. He did not talk to us at all. Didn't even ask if we needed assistance. And when we walked back to him, the first thing he said was, "Nice, what did you learn?" Oh, that blew my mind,
oh, bro,
dude.
That's Sensei for sure.
That's what I mean. I was like, yo, that's the first thing you're gonna tell me,
that's
bro?
Straight out of anime, like that. Like
yeah, I couldn't believe it, bro. I was like, yo, who is this man, bro? Like, this is crazy. I ended up picking my first tree there, and it was like dope. And then I just knew, like, oh, tight. This is a real tree.
Yeah.
Sick. I'll be back with you. Ended up coming back next week because so it was February 1st when I picked up that tree.
Okay.
And so it was around spring, and then this was a maple tree, but it looked like a twig. The leaves didn't even come out yet. And then I was like, oh, dude. Like the very next week, I was like, is that alive? I don't even know if I'm doing this right.
Yeah.
I literally come back the next weekend, and he's like, relax, dude. You gotta let life do its thing. And then, that really immediately taught me the patience. Like, just because you want this tree to do that, that's not up to you. It's up to the seasons. It's up to everything else but you, And then he was just like, yeah, dude, relax. It's coming, dude. And ever since then, I would just pop up, buy a few trees. There was a time I'd be there every Saturday morning to help him out because that was my way of learning without going to bonsai school. Because he was like, dude, you should go to bonsai school, dude. But I was like, I'll just stay here.
Yeah.
Because it was kind of cool. I'd help him out every now and then, like mix up the soils and stuff, whatnot. And then I would just be there. And sometimes they're doing repot like sessions where they got to repot a tree into a new one. And then I'd be there just watching. And he's like, cool, yeah, watch this. Check this out. This is what we do. So it was like free education just for me hanging out.
Dude. It's the best.
No, for real.
It's the best.
There was a time he just knew I was coming. Like, all right, tight. He's coming for sure.
Yeah.
And every time there was even a time when like they're working on something, and then customers would come in and they'd be like, "Hey, show them around." I'm like, "Yeah, I'll do it." Thought it was like sick. I'm like an unofficial worker here.
Yeah. Okay, so since we're in that space, right? 2015. It's 10 years ago. You just finished barber school. You're getting into bonsai. You're getting into watercolor. Fast forward, what is that sound? Oh, that's the candle. I kept hearing some shit and I'm like, what is that?
No, I saw it. Yeah, interesting.
Anyways, it's a new candle. Experiment. To come back though, because one of the reasons I reached out to you for the podcast is because, I was following you on Instagram and you had posted something about being in Japan when you turned 30, which was, how long ago was that?
January 6th is my birthday, so we were there for basically around New Year.
Okay.
Yeah, so
that was your second time, right?
That was my second time there.
So let's jump, right? You were just kind of in the space 2015, 10 years ago, and then basically you had this whole reflection, which I was like, I read the reflection and it was just like, bro, that. I would love to unpack that conversation, right? Obviously, I knew we would talk about more than that, but since we're in the space, let's fast forward to 2025 now. Like, where is your mind now, like looking back, like that, almost even like maybe revisit that reflection, since obviously the people who are watching don't necessarily follow you on Instagram and didn't have that to read. But what was that you went through?
So it was pretty dope. I was just thinking about this even today. For whatever reason, I've only been to Japan twice, but each time there is unlike any other trip I've gone to. Because for whatever reason, and I think it's just Japan itself, the fact that you could just post up somewhere, just look down the street and just reflect. Like, I don't know what it was, but over there, even my first time there, I would just reflect on life. And then that post you saw, it was funny because, like, this is actually really funny because, like, all my clients knew I was going to Japan.
Yeah.
I had to tell them, like, hey, bro, I'm going to be gone, so get your haircuts early or whatever, or da-da-da, I can't get you for New Year. And then at some point, everyone was like, yo, you excited? You excited? And then I was so busy in the shop, so busy in school. I was like, honestly, bro, that's not even on my mind right now. Like, I
can't even think about that right now.
Yeah, I can't even think about that right now. And it was like that for so long, even up to when we were about to leave, that it did not hit me that I was there until my first meal. Because we had totally landed. I'm in Japan.
What did you have for your first meal?
Oh, dude, like, there was this katsu spot that was just down the spot from where we stayed at. And the funny thing was, my homie who I was with, his brother recommended it to us. And then when we hopped out of our Airbnb, we, like, looked over and like, oh, it's next door. We didn't even realize. I was
Perfect.
like, it was truly perfect. And I was just like, dog, this is it right here. But see, that's why I had that moment, because I just woke up and then, like, didn't even have nothing to eat yet outside of, I mean, you know, for sure. The Lawsons, I handled that. I definitely, first things first, handled that, dude.
I was like, bro, you didn't hit the kombini yet?
No, for sure. But, like, first proper meal, that's when it, like, hit me. Like, oh, wow, we're here right now. Like, it was just a crazy 5 years since I've been there. Because I was there in 2019-ish. So then I had to, like, really reflect on, like, wow, I'm back. But I'm a different person this time. Like, wow, this is sick. And then I just had a whole thing. Because the whole point of us going into Japan, I was just, I went back to school like a year ago. So after a year in, I wanted to just like treat myself like, yeah, you did go back to school. Here, go have this quick little trip, dog. Cool. Because it was weird going back. So I wanted to like give myself something to look forward to after my first 3 semesters. Because I did do a summer.
Okay.
And then it was just really cool. And then like I was telling one of my friends, like, it'd be dope to go back there. Like, but because of school, you can't just be like, you know, like before that, I do whatever I want, whenever I want. Like, it was pretty dope. There was a time, I think 2018 or 2019, I remember telling Edsel, hey bro, I'm about to be gone for a month. Is that all right? And he said, just cover rent and you're good. I was like, all right, dude, tight. Because I was like, I went to Australia for like 3 weeks.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, because that's that barber life. Like, you know, as long as you take care of your responsibility on your end, you can do whatever you want. I don't have to like call sick days off or like, you know,
you're literally creating your own schedule.
Yeah. So, but then like the fact that was taken away from me because of school, I was like, yo, I want to go back to Japan, but like, yo, it'd be dope to go during the winter time. I was telling my homie that, and then he was just like, oh, like you talking about the little winter break before the semester? I'm like, yeah, but that's a tight window. I don't know if anyone wants to do it. And then like 2 weeks later, I just get a text. This fool hits me up like with a whole like flight, and he said, just say yes or no, bro. Just let me know right now. And I was like,
damn.
No way. On the spot, bro.
Put it on the table. Yeah, you ain't down though?
Yeah, because he was like mad bored. That's what he said. He was just mad bored. It's like, you know what? I haven't been to Japan. Rich has, so he could show me around. He knows what to do, right? And then he was just looking it up like, it's not that bad. And it's the exact window he was talking about. So he really just put it on the table. It was like, yeah, man, just let me know. I'll cop that right now. And I literally looked at it for 15 seconds. I'm like, fuck it, let's do it. We'll figure it out later. Let's go.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, but then it was so funny because we like laid it down right there, and then right after that, back to work, right? And then I was just back to my grind doing whatever. And then that's what I mean by like, I didn't even think that, because I was so busy, and everyone's like, you excited? I'm like, it's not on my mind, dude. I got to do all this, that. Until I was there, and I was just like, wow, we are here. And then it was like crazy because the first time I was there was totally different though. So this second time I was like totally down to just do normal things.
Right. Like I don't got to hit all the, you know, must do's because like I've been here. Let me just like settle into the culture a little bit.
Kind of, because my 2 friends I went with, that's their first time. So I knew for a fact, like, okay, we're going to be doing this stuff. Like we should be, because if you've never been.
Yeah, you got to.
Yeah, there's places you should see, But then like I personally had just a different, you know, outlook while we were there because I've seen it. So I was just totally I would just go on walks or whatever to find mundane stuff, you know. It was kind of cool because also my first time there, shout out my cousin Ross. So it's hella funny, we're talking about 2015. around the time I got my barber license and whatnot, one of my boys, he's basically my cousin. He calls me, and then he left for the Air Force, right? So then I was like, oh, tight. So he just got out. He calls me, but it was like a random time. He's like, what's up, cuz? Guess what? I got stationed in Japan. And I was like, wait, what, bro? Oh, damn. When can I visit? You know what I'm saying? And it meant a lot because when we were 10, we talked about going to Japan one day.
Dude, how sick is that?
That's what I'm saying. Like, he and I, we always talked about, yo, we're going to head to Japan one day. And this is when we were 10. And then I was just like, you just happen to get stationed there, bro? And then he was just like, yeah, bro, I'm eating 7-Eleven sushi right now, bro. Because he just got there too. Like, it's so new to him. And I was just mind blown. I was like, dude, that's time. And he was all saying like, dude, you gotta come by one time. You gotta come by. And then I wanted to see him for 2020 because I wanted to be there for the Olympics. But he knew like his term, he was about to be gone by then. So he's like, oh, dude, we gotta do it in 2019. So I pulled up over there 2019. He showed me around, but it was totally different. I like telling people this story because it's so weird. I never rode a train my first time there. We were in a car the whole time because he had a car.
Shit. Okay.
Yeah, right? And that's already different.
That's already different.
That's already different. When you go to Japan,
dude, you are on the fucking... You're on the subway. You're on the train. You're all the time.
Everywhere you go. Everywhere, right? So then that's why, like, the second time my friends were like, you got this, Rich? I'm like, honestly, no, I don't, bro. It's like, we're going to figure this out together, dog. Like, I've never been on this train. I don't know how it works. We're going to get lost together. We're going to figure it out.
I've been lost on the train a few times. Go in the wrong direction. Like, oh, fuck.
Yeah, or like, there was even a couple times you get off on a station and you know you can transfer, but not realizing that you have to leave the station to go to a whole ass another one.
Yeah, dude.
And I was like, oh, so that transfer point's not here? And then it took me a minute to figure that out. I was like, oh, wow, so people just live this way. But, you know, like, that's why I mean, like, the first time there, people don't live that way.
Right.
Yeah, so we were in a car. The Air Force Base was, like, West Tokyo-ish. So we're, like, really not even in the city, which was dope. I basically explained to people it's Daly City.
Right.
Because we're totally on the outskirts, which was dope. But the thing about this cousin, he was racing out there.
Oh, shit.
Like, that's his whole thing.
Oh, shit. So you got to see that scene?
No, I was in it, dude.
What?
But see, that's, like, the crazy part, like, why it's not normal. So, like, when I went with my friends the second time, let me have a normal trip, dog. Like, let me see what the normal tourist experience is supposed to be like, right? But the funny thing is, this fool picked me up from the airport, and I'm all, like, you know, hella jet lag, so I already knocked out. And then as I woke up, like on our way to our spot, he's like, dude, you missed it. We already raced a few skylines. I'm like, you're racing? I didn't even get home yet. You know, like, we didn't even go, like, bro. And then he was like, don't worry about it. It's actually cool here. And then I come to find out it really is. I was like, this culture is totally different. And then, like, the first day, like, when we woke up the next morning, he said, oh, no, we're not going to the city. Let me take you to the mountains first. And that is legit. He took me on the toge, like, where folks be drifting. And I'm like, this.
Damn.
Yeah, I'm like,
damn, fool.
Yeah, and I was just like, okay, I get it now. This is what you want to show me. He's like, and then, because he said, like, dude, you're going to be back in this country. Save those experiences for the next time you're here.
Yeah. Because this is unique. You can't get this when you're over here with just your homies or by yourself.
Yeah, and I'm so, like, and then my second time, I was texting him, like, hey, bro, I get it now. Thank you for doing that. Because all the things we did, I could not do right now. And then he's like, I told you, dude. Like, I said you'd be back, dude. You can ride your train whenever you want. You can
ride your train whenever you want, dog.
Yeah, and I totally understood. And I was, like, so thankful for that, like, experience that we had together. Because he was just, like, really, like, all right, tight. We're going to mob out this way. He let me drive on Mount Fuji, which was dope.
What?
Yeah, because he made sure, like, all right, Rich, there's a chance we might get pulled over, so please get your international license on some in case. So on our way back first of all, we drove to Osaka. That's a whole nother thing, which 12 hours.
I was going to say, how long is that? Because I know the bullet train is like 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
It's funny, though, because I was texting him on the bullet train. It's like, dude, remember that night we did the all-night at Osaka? Dude, I'm already here. And he was just like, wow, that's crazy. At the same time, though, that drive to Osaka, we ran through, like, rice fields and stuff. And it's, like, stuff that you wouldn't normally see.
Dude, you're so fucking cool. How fucking cool of an experience is that?
That's what I was saying. I was just like, and then I was like, dude, nothing's going to top that. That was just something else, right? So on our way back, like, to Tokyo area, we went another route, and then there was a moment in time he had me get in the car and just keep driving up this hill, and then I got mad foggy, I was wondering what was going on. I was like, yo, is this supposed to be like that? Well, yeah, you'll see why. And then we kept like driving through the fog, and then at some point he said, look up to your left. And I look up and it's like the peak of Mount Fuji. I'm like, yo, what the hell? We're here, bro? He's like, yeah, dude. Just like I told you. This is why I wanted you to hop that. I was just mind blown. Like, wow, people visit Mount Fuji, but who drives on it, you know?
That's crazy. I've hiked Mount Fuji.
Yeah.
The first time I went and hiked Mount Fuji, that was a crazy experience. I would definitely do it again, but more prepared.
Well, because I haven't done it, so what's it like? Like,
okay, so, the first time I went to Japan, I went with two of my friends, Kat and Baum, who I plan to have both of those motherfuckers on here. But we went during the summer because Fuji's only open to hike during like 2 months, July and August. Other than that, like you can't hike.
Oh, did not know that.
The way to do it is most people will like find a spot where as they're hiking up, then they like stay for a few hours. They like a dorm, like a hostel almost, right? But it's just literally like you sleep for a few hours and you continue on. We tried to do that, but every time we called, everybody's just in Japanese. So we're like, well, fuck it, we're just gonna go straight then.
Yeah.
We're still in the States. None of us have been to Japan before. No one fucking speaks Japanese. Like, you know, other than our little phrase book that we got from Lonely Planet, with fucking the highlights and shit.
Right, but like functionally, like it's not gonna help enough.
Not enough. Not enough to like make some reservations. Like, you know, let me ask you where the convenience store is, or you know.
Yeah.
But we go there and we wanted to do a catch the sunrise. So we we went there during the day and kind of just hung out at base camp, right? Had some food, had some drinks, like literally just hanging out at like base camp. You see Mount Fuji and all that stuff. And then it's like, all right, at some point, we're going to start making the trek up. So we basically start going up at nighttime.
Sick.
It took us 12 hours to get to the top.
Oh, shit, like that.
Like that. And we were fucking not prepared, dog. We were not prepared. Meaning it's cold as fuck up there.
In July.
Bro, you're on a fucking mountain in fucking the sky. It's cold as fuck, dog.
I mean, that... I could feel that because when
but we didn't realize it was like I had my fucking snowboarding North Face jacket, and then
that wasn't enough.
It wasn't enough. It was not enough, dog. And like you know, one layer under my pants. My homegirl Kat was in fucking yoga pants, dog.
She must have been going through it,
dude. Her and my homie Bomb, they were like, we got to the top, pale faces, looked like they were gonna like throw up. They're like, we need to go back down, like, you know what I mean? Because you're going up, and sometimes you're at the spot, and like you're just holding on to chains, and you're just like in a line, like as if you're in Disneyland. Because there's like a where it just narrows and it's like, oh, you just gotta like, we can't pass anybody, and then like it opens up and you can go again or whatnot. But you see some old ass dudes, some old ass Japanese motherfuckers like, dude, you're hiking Mount Fuji right now?
Dude,
like,
there's something else, man. Yeah.
Something else. But it was super dope. And you get this like 6 foot wooden staff at the beginning. It's just like it's maybe like a hexagon or an octagon like shaped wooden thing. And when you go up there, there's all these like little rest stops where you can get like a little tea or a little snack, and it's just like some artisan who's like up in the mountains. That's just what, I don't know. Are they fucking there all the time? I don't fucking know. I couldn't ask them.
That's the thing about that place.
I couldn't even ask them.
Yeah.
But you go there and you pay like 200 yen, and they basically take the metal like as if you were to brand like a cow, and they basically like brand some thing on your stick. And so what I did is I basically was telling them, like, when people would brand it and I would pay for it, like only brand the top half, because when I got to the bottom, I saw it off.
Yeah, I was about to ask, how are you about to bring that back?
I saw it off the bottom, and then now I have a stick that's like, you know, probably like this, you know, maybe 3 feet long with all the different things on it. And so we all got one.
That's hella cool.
Yeah, that's like my favorite fucking souvenir from Japan for sure.
Yeah, you earned that souvenir.
Yeah,
it's not like, we picked this up. No. Like, wow.
But so we spent 12 hours getting to the fucking top of Mount Fuji. And we get up there, you can't see past fucking 20 yards, dog. All fog.
Yeah,
all
those
fog.
are the clouds, bro.
And I was like, damn, we fucking hiked all the way up here. You can't see shit. It's just fucking gray everywhere.
It fucking be like that, dude.
It'd be like that. Life be life, you know what I mean? Like, that's just what it do. It took us, I think, like, oh no, I take that back. It took us 8 hours to get up, 4 hours down. It was 12 hours total. 8 hours top. On the way down, though, it was sick because you talk about all these clouds. As you're going down, you're passing through layers of clouds. Like it's some Dragon Ball Z shit, dog.
Yeah, like, to be above that is weird.
Dude.
Yeah, because when I drove through it, I was like, what is this? Why is it foggy? Didn't know there were clouds.
Yeah.
I was just like, until we were above it, and I'm just like, this is wild, bro. We're just here. It didn't make no sense to me, because, like, you know, I don't do that here, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, you ain't driving through Mount Fuji here, dog.
Nah, dude, it's something else. Not at all. Mount Fuji's dope. I'm glad that like you did it. It sucked that it like was, but those clouds are always there.
Yeah.
Cause like my second time there, I tried to like even on the bullet train. Since this time I did do the bullet train, looked over, clouds. I was like, all right, man, just cool. I'll see this another time.
What season you trying to go back next time you go back?
I'd love to go in autumn if I could, because I did the springtime my first time there. And then I just did the winter. I don't even exactly recommend it. It was mad cold.
Did you catch cherry blossoms in the spring, or you didn't go there that time?
Oh, I did, yeah.
Oh, you fuck. Yeah,
oh,
dude.
yeah. So it was kind of crazy. Like when we landed, it was there. When I landed in Tokyo, I saw hella cherry blossoms. I thought it was cool. First thing I noticed was these are not the ones back home. They're really not. And then like it was tight. And then we dipped out to Osaka, saw some stuff there, but then. This is how I like realized how impermanent it was. As soon as we got back to Tokyo, they were gone already. I was like, oh wow, it came quick.
2 weeks.
Yeah, I was like, it really is that little window. I was like, that's crazy. And then like even when I was in Osaka, they were already fading away because apparently they come out first around there because of the weather changes.
Yeah, like the region, like it's almost like it has this like cascading effect. I don't know which way it goes, but there's like a, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because I just knew that around that area happens first. Because for whatever reason, when I was there in the wintertime, when I was in Nara, right, there was one cherry blossom tree that was already awake, and I was like, "Why you? What happened?" It was the only one, and I hella took a photo. And my homie was like, "Wait, why are you taking it?" 'Cause have you seen one yet? This is the only one we're ever going to see right now. It's January. I don't know why it's here.
Yeah.
And it made no sense to me. And I was like, there's something about that tree. But some trees are like that. Like I have a bonsai tree. Like I have a bunch of maples, right? There's one tree, for whatever reason, it wakes up first. Every year. And I'm like, you're just the early riser for whatever reason.
There's the homie at the sleepover that's just already awake in the morning.
Yeah, dude. It's like crazy because I was like, y'all are not even the same. Like nature doesn't hit y'all the same way. And then that's when I realized some of these trees have their own individual traits. I was like, that's crazy. To call it a personality, maybe. But that tree wakes up before everyone else every year. Like whenever when the end of winter comes, I look at that tree to tell me when spring's coming.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, because that's the one that's gonna tell me. And as soon as it's waking up, then I'm getting ready. It's like, okay, tight. That's my warning sign to get like my repot stuff ready to go. Because when you're repotting a bonsai tree, you have a small window. Yeah. Like you really got to do it like in a 2-3 week little span. So that tree tells me, get ready, fool. It's coming. I was like, all right, let's do this.
Okay, so speaking on that, you talked about like this tree, or like it's on its own time, right? Nature's doing its own thing, and it's just doing its own thing. Earlier you talked about 2015 and going to barber school or finishing barber school and whatnot. You're like, I guess I'm just gonna go do my own thing. All my friends are in school, like I'm blazing my own path, right?
Yeah, it was really like that.
So you blaze your own path for 10 years, and then you have this reflection, and you are now going back to school. What's the move on that? What's the inspiration on that? What is this trail that you've been blazing, and like where are you continuing to blaze it?
That one's like a crazy layered answer, because when people be asking me, I'm like, yo, I don't even know how to answer this, but we have the time. Yeah. Which is crazy.
Wait. Yep. No, just because we do have the time. We do have the time, but I'm trying to be more aware of these GoPros overheating.
How they feeling?
They feel warm.
This one doesn't feel
too hot. You guys already know. If you've been watching any of these episodes, you know these GoPros be finicky because it's right next to this metal thing. Okay, let's do this. Let's pin this. Let's pin this.
Well, this is a good spot to pin it at. Yeah, this is a good spot.
The whole going back to school, making your own path type vibe. We'll jump back into there. We'll take a quick pause real quick. I'll probably brew us another cup of coffee. If you haven't already got your coffee or drink or whatever it is y'all sipping on, go ahead and grab a drink. We'll be back in a few minutes. All right. Guest cam recording, 2-shot recording, host cam recording, and both microphones are recording. Let me turn this off.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to hit one of those audio sync things. Why? Because it basically, what it does is it gives the audio a spike.
Oh, so you know to line it up with the video, right?
I mean, the program does a good job of like for the most part lining it up, but it's not always like spot on. So it's nice to have these markers to help yourself.
Well,
Again,
if you have,
I'm learning as I'm going, right?
If you have this one marker right now, then that would line it up, right?
This will line it up, yeah.
Oh, okay.
For the second half, not for the first half.
No, it doesn't for the first half?
No, because everything was turned off.
Oh, okay.
But
I was
okay.
just
It's okay. Like there'll be something. Like I said, the program does its thing. This is just like the secondary catch. Whereas before, without technology, like you actually had to go in and fucking line it up yourself. That's why you hear the fucking little.
Makes sense, yeah.
It's for that.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
No, because video is a whole nother discipline.
It's an animal, bro. It's a whole nother animal.
Yeah, like when I got into photography, everyone was about to ask about it. I'm like, no, I'm never touching video, dude. One frame at a time, dog. Like that's a whole discipline I'm not ready to learn.
Yeah, dog.
I don't have the patience for that.
It's a lot, and you're staring at fucking long hours. I'm drowning. I'm drowning in the best way. I'm drowning in editing right now.
No, because that's what everyone who does video, I'm like, I know you're editing, dude. And it's so crazy how someone tells me they'll spend so long to edit something that is really just a minute.
I wonder if I could turn this on but not have it so hot. It's kind of hot.
Oh, is that actually warming up out there?
Yeah.
We got that weird time of year.
We'll just rock that as is. All right. Cool. We back. I actually didn't brew another cup of coffee. We decided to just stick with some water.
Yeah, I was pretty awake. I was like, I needed it earlier, but I was like...
Now we good. Cool. So let's jump back into kind of where we're at. You have recently gone back to school, right? You've been back for, what, a year?
Yeah, just about a year.
Okay. So what was the decision to go back to school? And we were talking the last time I got cut up by York, and we were talking about, like, the mentality you had. You're going to school with all these young kids and kind of all that.
Yeah, dude.
So just... First break us off on like the inspiration to go back to school, maybe that whole vibe, and then we can talk into like the experiences of it.
Well, the inspiration came from many different places, because the decision happened from looking at those different things that have happened. But the first one that probably started it off, or at least planted the seed, you remember John, who used to cut at the shop?
I do.
OG John?
I do.
Did you know he was an artist?
I didn't.
Dude, he's an amazing artist, bro.
I didn't know that.
And like, it's crazy because then when he like saw my art, he was just like, oh, dude, you're one of us, huh? And then like he showed me these paintings he did in high school when he was in high school, and they were amazing. I was like, what the hell? And then he like was doing some really realistic portraits. There was a time, because Lion's Mane been around since, I mean, it's called Lion's Mane now, but they've been around since '68.
Yeah, before it was called
Marcelli's.
Yes.
But even before that, like, there's a whole lineage of like just different ownership, but it's still technically the same shop, right?
Right.
So they've been around since '68, and then he's been working since '68.
Oh shit.
Yeah, so this is basically the only shop he's ever worked at.
Damn.
Yeah, which is kind of wild, but I mean, '68 wasn't at this location, because this whole plaza was here since 1980.
Okay.
So, but before that, they were in Fremont. And then when he told me he's been working here the whole time, I was like, that's crazy. But he showed me his high school stuff. And then at some point, I asked, yo, what happened? And the saddest answer he gave me, I got too busy cutting hair.
Oh, fuck.
And that was like a whole, I saw how that could have happened, right?
When was this conversation?
Probably 2017, 18, right?
Okay.
But at some point, I was just going in on painting, and then he just saw me really going in on that, like not going to work. I was just painting, right? Just catting off, like just really painting. And then everyone in the shop's like, yeah, Rich is painting right now. This fool's not even here. But then at one point, he like talked to me and was like, dude, you're really young still. Why are you here? Like, you could come back whenever you want. Like, this barber life isn't going anywhere. You didn't even give your art life a shot. And then he okay, because the one thing about me, I hate when people, like adults, be trying to give me advice, because I already have such a different life. Like, why would I take your advice? I'll be normal if I did.
Yeah, you and I definitely walked that path of...
You know what I mean? Like, what are you trying to why would I want to be normal, bro?
Shit. Yeah.
But this is a man who was an artist who worked in a barbershop his whole life. And the way I saw it, you're the perfect person to tell me that.
Right.
The perfect person to tell me that, because that's where my life would have went toward.
Yeah.
It's because he was like, yeah, dude, I got too busy. Like, I couldn't, like, do art. But I mentioned the 68 part earlier because he would show me drawings of old employees who worked for the shop over the decades. there's no photos of them, but he has drawings of them. I was like, yo, dude, so this is all the folks who used to work here? Is like, yeah, this is back in Brookville, out in like Fremont. I was like, damn, so you don't even have photos? He's like, no, but I just drew people, I would paint.
Wow.
And that was what he was doing like around his 20s or something. And I was just like, dude, that's crazy. But he did tell me like, yo, man, like it'd be dope if you just went after that one time. And if it doesn't work out, you're still a barber.
Yeah.
So,
but you gave your art the opportunity to live.
Because that was his whole point.
Yeah.
Like I never gave myself that. And then like that was the planted seed, you know? And then like over the years, you know, keep in mind, this is 2018, right?
Yep.
So I'm just doing what I'd usually do. Then eventually the pandemic hits. And when the pandemic hits, I wanted to go to school right then and there. It made sense to go to school right then and there. I was like, hold up, I'm stuck at home anyway.
Yeah.
And then I always told myself, because there were skills I wanted to learn in art, but I did not have the time. I was too busy cutting hair. So I was like, damn, am I ever going to learn these skills type thing? And that's when it really hit me. I really understood what he meant. And then like, eventually it led down to making more art, and I would just make more art. And then at some point though, I felt like, okay, what does this do though? And then I was just like, I don't actually know what these paintings will do for anybody, especially because I don't even really want to work in the art industry. I just want to do art, you know?
Right.
But at some point, like, I wanted to make functional art, or at least art that could do something, like people could use. And I have one of my best friends, he's like, he works on architecture. And then for all these years that I've known him, I was never really into architecture like that, but he'd always like bring up like all these places, all these stuff, like, or we would look at a building and he'd tell me the history on it. I'm like, oh, that's tight, that's cool. But as I really truly understood like functionality, that's when I understood the architecture, like, oh, so this building was designed this way to meet this need, or to do this, that, and then that's when I was like, yo, that's sick. And then I was looking into smaller architecture when I was like getting into woodworking, you know? I was just messing around, like wanted to build this, cause like, it was crazy. I think like when I look at a building, I'm like, dude, it's just a box still, but what's in the box changes, you know?
Sure.
So then I was like, what is the smallest box we could make? And then I was over here, like, me and my cousins, we play a bunch of Street Fighter. We've always, like, was into fighting games as a kid. And then they brought me back into fighting games. I have not played since forever. And then I'm, like, back in this world. I'm like, yo, this is a deep, historic world. There's so much lore that I caught up on. And it led me to building my fight stick. So
yes, because you just built a wooden controller, right?
Yeah, because I was just like,
you're such an artist, bro.
Like my cousins were over here building like their things, and I was like, yo, wait, how do you build a controller? Oh yeah, dude. So you buy your buttons, you get the wiring, you get this motherboard, and then you just assemble. I was like, so where do you get the stuff at? Oh, you could buy the parts. And then I was just like, well, those parts are generic. What if I wanted it to ergonomically fit my own hand? And then they were like, well, you got to make it. And I was like, that can't be too hard. Right, and then I was like thinking, like, man, I'm over here thinking of architecture school. Like, man, if I can't build this box, I can't go to school, bro.
Okay.
That was like my whole mentality. Like, what makes me think I could build a building one day if I cannot build a little box? So I was like, okay, let's learn woodworking.
Yeah.
So, like, you know, Logan didn't have woodworking there.
Right.
Right. So I was like, I never even had the opportunity to. And then, like what we were saying earlier, like, if you want to learn something, the resources is out there. So just YouTubed a bunch of stuff, bought some saws, hand saws, wooty woo, just literally so many trips to Home Depot just to grab a bunch of wood, trying out the wood, learning how to do stuff. And I was like, yeah, we're going to assemble this. We're going to figure this out, you know? And it was just like really dope. Like, okay, tight. And then ever since then, because I was blueprinting in my sketchbook, I was like, okay, how do I want this to look? How is the top plate going to sit on top? How am I going to glue it together? Am I going to screw it together? Da-da-da. How much space needs to be inside to allow the buttons and the wires to be cool. Because you had to be conscious of all that. And it made me think like, wow, because whoever designs these commercial controllers have to be mindful of that.
Yep.
And the best thing about my homie who is into architecture, he would always tell me like, Rich, you're into it, you don't realize you're into it. And then he would tell me this crazy, because he says architecture school is actually just the gateway.
It's the gateway drug?
It's the gateway drug.
So is that what you're going to school for? Architecture?
Technically, yeah. I haven't started classes yet, but yeah. Because I'm just doing all my GE stuff, right?
Sure.
But he was telling me, like, that's the gateway. Because there's folks who go to architecture school who don't even work on buildings, bro. They end up doing industrial design or something else, but you learn design in school. You learn functionality in school. You learn like why things are designed a certain way to fit a certain need. Like, and then he mentioned this quote off this architect who I can't even name, but the quote goes, "If you can design a spoon, you can design a city." And,
wow.
Yeah, and I was just like, whoa, because a spoon is functional for a specific reason, and if you could design a spoon to fit the need of one person, then you can have the mind to fit the needs for multiple people, a whole city. And I was like, yo, that's crazy. And he was just over here like, look, you're over here blueprinting a whole fight stick, but imagine if that was like a living space or something, you know? That's why when I was around here, I was really looking around like, yo, someone designed this and built it out. I was just really like, okay, sick.
Yeah, no, for real. Like, the small space, the functionality, this is gonna go here because of this, and like, yeah, dude.
Yeah, so it was like a mad trip, and then before I even signed up for school, I hella talked to him. I was like, hey, Seth, bro, I got this crazy idea. How would you feel if I went back to school for architecture? He looked at me like, you ready, bro? And he was so excited. And I was just like, oh, dude, you're about to do all this, that. Because there was like, I never like wanted to do architecture back then, not at all. When I was a kid, I wanted to go to art school. I definitely wanted to go to art school, but then like, I remember deeply as a kid, I'd watch this Lord of the Rings film, like the last one, and then I had the DVD, and in the special features, they show you a model of the castle where like the battle went down, and this is a big model, probably this big or something, and I'm just like, someone built that, and then just via just other things like Click, the Adam Sandler film, dude was an architect, and then he just had these models, and I was like, dude, I want to make models. Because even before that, like having the conversation with him, I was just over here like, hey, bro, what kind of architecture software are you using? Because I want to paint buildings, but what if I make the buildings and set up the camera so I could paint that? So he's like, so you want to learn all this just so you could paint a scene? And I'm like, yeah, dude, I really do. And he was just over here like, what the hell? You're hella backwards, but okay. And then it was like funny because then I ended up finding something. So I would just create these forms, and then within the software, you can move around like the camera, and then boom, there's your shot, and fill it in with whatever you want to do. And there's like some paintings I have. It's like, yo, where's that at? I'm like, oh, it's made up, dude. I made it up. I don't know. And they're like, what the hell? What do you mean you made it up on some software? We just made some buildings. I just, I chose my angle. Boom, let's paint it,
Yeah.
And it's like, what the hell? And then, so that's going some way. And I don't know how architecture works now, but my whole, like, not even drafting skills, my just art skills, right? Just sketching things, painting. I was like, I could bring that to a client. Like, if someone's going to ask, like, how is this going to look? I was like, dude, I'll just do it right here, dude. Yeah, it'll look like this, bro. It's gonna look. Yeah, and then, because I know at some point work was like that. I really do have no idea how the work is like now. I can't wait to take those classes so I could see, like, okay, so this is how people work. But then my homie is like, dude, the artist you are, you'll be fine. You just gotta earn your way, dude. Yeah. Take those math classes you don't want to do.
Yeah, but it's part of it.
And that's what I'm doing right now. Yeah. So like once I'm done with that, I actually cannot wait to just hop into the architecture program.
So how much longer do you have until then, till you hop into that architecture program?
I don't think not too long, because my whole thing is I just need to take care of calculus and physics, get those really out the way, because everyone says those are the hardest parts. After that, you're pretty much good. And then once that's out the way, then sick, let's get to it, About to start like learning CAD, and then I just really want to start building things, because there's so many random things that I could do. Because there was a time I was like, man, what if I built random Baha'i Kubos, and those are like little models, right? And then like
Filipino for that.
Yeah, but like
I love that.
So check this out. This is an idea that I still want to.
Before you get in that, I'm just gonna blow out this candle because this fucking crackling candle
it's getting loud, dude. Yeah, that's just getting loud. Over here.
This experiment didn't go too well, guys. I tried to experiment with these new candles, but the fucking crackling thing. I don't know if you could hear that for the first hour, but that shit.
We will find out.
Yeah, we'll find out. Static.
There was this crazy idea I had. I still want to do it. I wanted to build a coffee table, right? So really design out this dope coffee table, but glass top, right? So you could see through it. The reason being is because under the coffee table, I could have my models under there, and that could be a whole thing. So if someone were to ever have my coffee tables, you could just swap out the model. like whatever I have under, we could just keep swapping that out. And it's like, and then like, even when I drafted it out, I was like, I want lights under the table to highlight whatever was under the table. So you could just look at it. And like, imagine like you have like a guest over and they're just looking at the table like, what the hell is that? And then like, not only what the hell is that, but what's under it?
Right.
And it's like a whole Baha'i Kubo or something. And I was just like, well, one day we're going to do that for shits and giggles. Like, I have this idea now, but one day.
And I have no doubt that you will.
Yeah, because I hella drafted it out, dude. And I was just like, tight. I know how I want it. I just don't have the skills yet. But we're going to figure that out, like, over time. Because, you know, sometimes an idea might come 5 years ago, but you'll eventually get to it when that time comes.
Yeah,
and, you know,
I feel that.
Yeah, so, like, that's kind of how I feel about school right now. Because even then, I was talking to my homie. He said, and I'm over here struggling in school. He's like, you still want to do this? I'm like, yeah, I still do. And at some point, I did tell him, like, even if this doesn't work out and I don't want to do this, I'm leaving that option there to discontinue going.
Right.
Because I need to be real with myself. Like, don't stick to something just because you started with it. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
I feel like we do that as I love that you give yourself the grace to make that decision. One of the things that my dad always says is like, we have the right to change our mind.
That's so right. Yeah.
And so like, it's really cool to be like, I'm really passionate about this path and I'm going to pursue this path. I'm going to pursue this path until it's no longer passionate. That may be all the way through, but you may get to a point where like, this no longer inspires me, and to give yourself the grace to be like, you know what, I'm actually going to change directions. I know I said I wanted to do this and I did it and I walked that path, but after walking that path, I realized that may not be something that I want to do.
Yeah, because that happens, and like, I hate when I see folks go through something and they're not enjoying it. And well, I mean, you know, sometimes that I'm like, with any like real grind, you're not going to like it all the time. But if you truly don't feel passionate, like you said, why are you still doing it, right?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know yet. I didn't even start the program. Right. So I'm still excited about it, but like I am keeping that open. At the same time, I'm glad I'm coming into it open, because I have this basically win-win mentality where if I don't go through with this, then cool. I took all the art classes. I learned CAD anyway.
Yep.
We're going to learn how to 3D print then. Fuck it. You know, because even if I don't...
You're still picking up all these skills.
Yeah, that I'm going to use with my own creative mind anyway. Yeah. So there's no losing here.
You're never not going to be an artist.
No, and that was like the whole thing. And then like, on top of that, I'm still a barber. There's still something here. Right. So
which is also a form of art.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you brought that up, because I didn't mention this earlier. There was a 5-year period I just didn't make art, which was, it's crazy looking back at it now, because there was like a 5-year period I stopped making art because I just focused on barbering. Super focused, like was on it. When I made the decision, basically I was like, okay, we can't afford art school. That's crazy. And these art schools don't take like FAFSA or none of that. Yeah. They're all privatized. So I was just like, I don't want to put my parents through that strife. Like, let me financially handle this my own, because I was already making money cutting hair, and I was like, barber college ain't even all that much. We could do that and then freestyle the rest of life, which is what happened, you know, which was pretty tight. Especially like, I paid for barber college out of the money I made senior year. Nice. Which was crazy, because I was just stacking hella money in a shoebox, which was like wild. And then by the time I was ready for barber college, I was just ready to go. But I was so focused doing that, I wasn't creating outside of like art class in Logan. Outside of that, I wasn't making anything, right? And then I would meet artists along the way, but it got to a point where I wouldn't even like introduce myself as an artist. Like, I'm just a barber. I internally, I thought I was a has-been, you know? And that's where like the whole thing, when I got into watercolor, it like, one, it was completely new, so I had to like just pick something new and just learn that. But I noticed, for whatever reason, during my 5 years off, I came back better than ever. It made no sense to me. I was like, I did not even practice one bit. So it was blowing my mind, because there was a moment in time I didn't even know what I could do. And that was like a crazy, like, kind of confidence where it's like, wow, I don't even know how good I am.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, because I was gone for 5 years, and then just one day I just like decided to pick back up art, and I'm like, I can still do this. And like, you know, because when you mentioned that cutting hair is art, that's when like it really clicked in my head that I didn't understand it as everything I did was art. And then, you know, I've met some artists, and when I would tell them that I used to do stuff, but I'm a barber now, and they're like, you're a sculptor then. You're sculpting hair. That's what that is. But I never looked at it that way, you know? And then, you know, when I got into photography, it was mainly to take pictures of haircuts. But while I had a camera, all right, tight, let's take pictures of stuff. Didn't know that I was training my composition eye. So when I came back to drawing stuff, I'm like, yo, dude, I was working on these skills this whole time. Didn't even know. And it just blew my mind. I was like, this whole time I thought I was a has-been. I'm still here.
You actually never stopped being an artist. It was just the mind that thought that you know? Because sometimes part of art is not creating. Sometimes part of art is absorbing.
Truly.
Be inspired.
Truly.
Just walking through nature, right? Because we create, whether we're writing books, whether we're painting stuff, it's like based on things that we've experienced, something that inspires us. And so it's like as artists, we also have to live in order to be inspired to create the art, whether it's pruning bonsais, whether it's sculpting hair, whether it's freaking watercolor, whether it's building wooden controllers. Like, it's basically just deciding to show up to life as an artist, like realizing that like this is just my lens, whether I'm getting paid for it, whether I'm not, whether, you know what I mean, I'm creating a body of work, or whether I'm just doing this for me, like it's art, you know what I mean? That's all. Even like when I'm like setting up some shit, like,
oh, yeah,
did I have to do that? Fucking no. But do I think it's fucking cool in the art of this and that?
Yeah,
like,
dog, because there is art to that. Like, no, because even the coffee thing, like we mentioned earlier, was a whole ritual. But I'm like, yeah, but like that ritual sets off your whole day, you know?
It does.
It sets off your whole day, and there is an art to how you pour it. Like, I learned that over time, because there was a few times I got lazy just to do it, and I know you'll taste the difference, you know?
Wow.
And I was like, oh, okay, so there should be amount of care you put into it. Just enough amount of care that you do into the little things you do.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you know, once it clicked in my head that I am still an artist, I was like, oh, wow, what are we going to do now? And then that's when, like, shout out watercolor, because it opened up color to me. Like I said, I was doing a lot of black and white stuff, but ever since then, I was like, wow, there's so much more to learn. Let's get to it, you know? And, like, eventually, I was just like, dope, this is sick. And then that's, you know, eventually, that's when John had that conversation with me. It's like, yo, what are you doing, man? You could come back whenever you want, but you never gave your art a shot, though. And he was so right. I was just like, all right, we'll do something. And then, like, that just led down things. But then, you know, the pandemic happened. So I actually, when that did happen, I was just at home painting like crazy.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, so you're telling me this is a golden opportunity to just stay here and just paint all day? Because I couldn't have done that under normal circumstances, you know? And then I was just like, oh, this is hella cool. I'm doing things I always wanted to do, but never thought I could, you know, because I thought I chose a life.
Right.
I chose a path, and it had to stick to that. But, you know, it gets boring. It definitely gets boring. So I was just like, nah, dude. I don't know how some people live that way. They'll choose a route and stick to it, and just that. I was like, man, you got no hobbies, bro? Or like,
yeah,
you know,
I'm like you on that side. I'm always changing shit. I'm always doing this. I'm doing that.
yeah, because it's like, you know, got to keep moving around. And what I love is you pick up little things from different parts. Like, there was a shout out Mr. Freed. He was my...
Oh, Mr. Freed!
Yeah, Mr. Freed?
I had Mr.
Yeah,
Freed!
Mr. Ball,
shout out
dude.
Mr. Freed!
Shout out Mr. Freed, dude.
Shout out James Logan! Fucking.
Yeah. Dude, you know I was his last student, basically?
Damn.
So, okay, I had him for 3 years at Logan, right? But every time I had him, he would joke around about, like, retiring next year. My senior year...
Mr. Freed's the art teacher, by the way. I don't know if we said that.
Yeah, he's a dope
I would
art teacher.
assume you guys figured that out.
Had him for drawing, had him for printmaking. What the thing was, he would like joke around about like retiring, but it turns out my senior year really was his last year, and it was
Your
funny.
class of 2013?
Yeah, 13.
Same as, okay, so just to put some space, I had Nico Martinez on here a couple episodes ago, also class of 2013, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Dude, yeah.
Okay, so Mr. Freed, you're his last student, senior year.
Yeah, I was confused why, but during that senior year, he would just give me hella books. He was just like, these are probably owned by the school, honestly. But he was just like, you know, here, dude, take this, keep that. Because he knew, like, all right, if there's anyone who's going to keep doing this, he knew that I might just keep doing something.
Yeah.
Or da-da-da. And then, like, it was just hella funny. But I bring him up because he would let me cut hair in class. Because I've had, like, I don't really need to be...
You were already cutting fucking in high school?
I've been cutting since 5th grade, actually, which is kind of wild. But in high school, like, these were the years I was focused on cutting hair, right?
Yeah.
So... I was always raw at drawing, so he knew, like, okay, Rich doesn't really need to draw. He's just here because he signed up for drawing.
Yeah.
But I was bored, so I had my clippers, and then someone would want, like, a quick taper. So he would let me cut hair in class, and then I would ask him, hey, can you grade the blend? as if it was.
Oh, sick, dog.
Yeah, he would like really critique my blend as if it was a drawing, and then he'd be like, "Oh yeah, you could, smudge that out a little better, da da da." And it was just so funny that this art teacher would grade a haircut blend,
Dude, that's fucking badass.
But it's like those things there, because when I'm painting in class, like everyone's like, "Yo, what made you decide to go with that? Your order of operations?" Like, because I would put my darkest darks on a painting, then my lightest lights, and then they're like, "Who taught you how to do that?" I'm like, honestly, cutting hair. Because when you cut hair, as soon as we go over your top, that's as dark as it'll ever be. That's your darkest dark.
Yep.
And we're working on your fade, and we do with the liner. That's your lightest light. So you work within that space. So I brought that to painting, and when I explained that, like, I did not even learn this from anywhere else but cutting hair, they're like, "What did that have to do with anything?" I was like, "Well, shoots, I don't know, man. If you cut hair, maybe you'd get it, but I'd be learning things in one trade, and it applies somewhere else. That always happens, though."
I think that's a gift for life to have that perspective, which we can all really take, is that everything is teaching you something. Everything is there to teach you something, and if you actually strip away whatever it is on the surface, the common denominator is actually the same. Because, like, let's say in the beginning you're talking about watercolor, and it's teaching you about letting go, or the water teaching you this. What was bonsai also teaching you? You know what I mean?
100%.
Or what if I were to like reflect back in my life and talk about like jujitsu, and how do I approach jujitsu, and like what did jujitsu teach me? It's like, oh man, those are the same lessons of letting go and allowing and this and that. Like, if we can just see that, like, life is always just fucking teaching us. You know what I mean?
Just be the sponge at the right moment.
Be the sponge at the right moment.
Be the sponge at the right moment. Just what can you learn from anything that's around you? It's also a blessing just being in a barbershop, because there's so many people that go in and out of there.
Oh, yeah,
so much random game I learned in there. It's like, it's truly random too, because you'll just meet someone who and this is their life. So I just happen to know about like butchers and how they cut up meat. Like, there was a time, like, in barber college, like, I'd cut up this butcher who, like, won some competition in Reno. So he'd explain to me what life as a butcher was like. I'm like, dude, I would not know this if I didn't talk to you about this,
Yeah.
Random things like that.
Yeah, no, I feel that. Like, when I was bartending, it's like that, too. Not when I'm bartending at night and it's, like, the club vibe and DJs, and you're not really talking to anybody. You're just, like, volume drinks.
Yep.
But during the day, when people are just coming in after work, sit down, have a beer and a shot, just, like, chop it up, and you just, like, hear about people's lives. And it's like, I would have never known anything about that entire world if we didn't have this conversation.
Truly.
And that's even part of this. Like, yeah, I'm having friends or homies that I obviously already know a little bit about you, and all this stuff, but I also want to have guests who are like, I don't know nothing about you. Like, fucking tell me something about you.
Right?
Which
Exactly.
is fire too, right? Yeah, dude.
Yeah, just I'm glad that you understand, or you even like resonate with the fact that it's all around you. You just gotta just soak it up. You don't know what's out there. And that's why, like, I realized, and I guess this is what OG John meant, like, you're stuck in this barbershop, so your range of what you can learn is limited. Go back to school or something, dude. I was like, all right. So I'm glad he planted that seed, but like a bunch of stuff done happened that like led down there. Because if I didn't have the pandemic to even get me back truly painting,
right,
then that never would have had, especially, the pandemic made everyone reevaluate everything.
Bro, changed everyone's lives.
Everyone's lives, right? So then I was over here like, you know what? I'm young enough still. But it is weird, though, because everyone in class is like 18, 19, hella immature.
I'm so glad you transitioned to that, because that is something I wanted to talk about.
Yeah, dude, it's just so funny, bro.
Because I just had my homie Hav. He's class of 05.
Okay.
He's also an artist. He's going back to be a writer. We were talking about like Comic-Con, stuff like that. He just went back to school, and he was sharing his
the same thing,
He was like, bro, these fucking 19-year-olds.
Dude, it's hilarious.
So fucking tell me some shit.
I mean, it's just hella funny, because then, like, I'm in class, and when you go back to school way later as an adult, you take it seriously,
Right.
Like, I'm there mad focused. I'm, like, taking mad notes, paying mad attention, to the point where my professor looks me in the eye, because he can't look at no one else. Like, they're over here catting off. They got an ear pod. Like, dog, they have AirPods in there. I'm like, you're in class, bro. What are you doing? And like we didn't even have the technology at the time, so we weren't doing that. If anything, we were trying to hide it in our sleeve, doing this up in class. But the fact that it's blatantly out there, I'm like, dude, you're in class, bro. Pay attention, But then I think about it, and this is where like the timing is weirdly perfect. Because if you were to tell me to go to college straight out of high school, I would have found a way to not do that so I could cut hair. Because I did want to cut hair so bad. My great grandpa was a barber, and then like just when I was cutting hair, I didn't know that he was a barber. So when he found out, he told me. He said, "So you naturally picked this up?" And then it was like hella crazy. And I had a moment. It was like, you were doing this whole time? And he's like, and then he basically like, yeah, but no one else really did it. So I was just mind blown because like my cousin was cutting my hair first, but that was because the barbershop movie came out. So everyone was cutting hair at the time.
I remember that time.
Right? But he did go to, so he left behind his clippers because he went to become a mechanic. There's a bunch of mechanics in my family. So all of a sudden there's clippers in my hands, and then like my homie is just I was already shaving my own head. And then one of my friends found that out. This is 5th grade, by the way. He's like, "Hey, Rich, can you cut my hair?" And I was like, "Hey, man, I messed myself up. It's okay. If
it's just me.
Yeah, if I mess you up, dude, I'm about to get grilled out by your parents or something. I don't know about that." But then it's hella funny. We decided to go through with it. So like I cut his hair, and this was 6th grade, right? This is the funniest shit ever. I gave him a haircut. It wasn't great. In the middle of wrestling practice with your brother as our coach. Dude, this is wrestling practice. This is mad serious. We're all like in it, and in the middle of practice, your brother goes, "Ross, who cut your hair?" He was like, "Oh, Richmond did." "Richmond, stop cutting hair, dude." And it was like hilarious, dude, because it was that bad. Like it distracted him from being a coach at the moment. I was like, damn, dude, that's crazy. And that's why it's like so funny when I see him in the shop. It makes me wonder what he thinks. Like, Richmond kept cutting hair. Wild, Because there was that moment I was just messing people up, 5th, 6th grade. And it was just like, we're somehow here now.
That's part of it though, right? That's part of it, is the like dealing with the imperfections or not being good. Not being good. Like,
yeah, and I think that's a huge one that I be trying to tell people. Like, you don't need to be raw your first time, dude. But, back in 5th, 6th grade, we had MySpace, but no real social media presence. So there was no social media pressure. No one's seeing things out there.
Dude, it's a whole nother ball game right now.
It's a whole nother ball game. Like, people will want to get into a hobby, but then they're looking at things at a high level, and they're intimidated by that. And I'm like, who said that had to be you tomorrow, bro?
Yeah. Like, if you're following some freaking world champion black belt and you want to sign up for jiu-jitsu, you ain't going to be doing that motherfucking flying arm bar
That's not going to be you, bro.
That's not going to be you,
it takes time, bro. So you need to give yourself grace to be ass, bro. Like, that's just the real, like, facts. Like, go ahead, fuck up a little bit. It's part of it, Yeah. And it's, like, so crazy when I try to tell people that. There was even a time I was talking to a friend. I was embracing the shit out of failure, and he was all saying like, "Why do you like that?" I'm like, "Why? Because that's how I got here." Sometimes, and there are certain situations in any craft I do, I will do something challenging on purpose because I want to fuck up eventually.
Yep.
Because once I get to that point, I know what went wrong. So the next time I tackle the situation, like, you know what I'm saying? I'm here now.
I got
like,
you, bitch.
Yeah, dude. Because they're like, no, because there's the thing too. Like, you want to fuck up. Or at least be okay with fucking up. But once you're okay with fucking up, then you'll get to a point where, okay, you could risk around a little bit. Do a very challenging painting that's gonna frustrate you. Why? Because then you're gonna realize what went wrong, and then you're gonna learn from that experience, and you can bring it with you to the next painting or whatever.
Yeah.
It's the same with cutting hair. It's the same with everything. Literally the same with everything. So once I like really learned that, I was like, okay, tight. If I want to get into something, let's fuck around, fuck up still. And I embrace failure in that way, as in like, I would rather make 1,000 failed paintings than just a few good ones. Because those 1,000 failed paintings brought me the good ones,
Right.
And it's like, if you don't have the grit to just sit with that and be okay with just being asked, then I don't know, you just, like,
It's not for you. It's not for you.
Yeah, it really just might not be for you, And then, because this is a weird internet time when everyone wants to be this, that, from what they see, but they're not giving themselves that space to just really get in on the craft. So that's what I'd be trying to tell folks, like, if there's something you want to do, get into it and just see what happens, Give yourself a few months, see how you feel about it,
Yeah.
And who knows what will happen. And as long as you're having fun in part of that experience, then things will work out,
Yeah. No, I fucking feel that, dude. Like, put in the time. Be inspired by something. Put in the time. Allow yourself to walk down that path. And if it turns out to be a path you don't want to walk, give yourself the grace to change directions.
100%.
But go into that path. Send it. Like, send that path. Like, if you're gonna do it, fucking do it. If you half-ass it, you're not ever gonna get out what you think you're gonna get out of it.
I like how you said the half-ass part, because that's why I mentioned we'll do a challenge on purpose.
Yeah.
Because I could at any point just be comfortable with the work I'm already doing and keep doing it. And this actually comes down to, I mentioned this to you like in a previous conversation, how like I had a friend, he found this artist and he liked like her art, and he mentioned like, yo, I want to buy her art, but I never did. And I was like, dude, you should have. And I told him that it was because that artist is not guaranteed to be the same artist 5 years from now. They might not even be doing this. They might pivot to something else, but you appreciated their art during a specific moment in time. So that art right there is like capsulized during that era, because they could be doing something completely else and you might not even be a fan no more.
Right.
But you got to let them do that. And as an artist, if you have a following and people like your stuff, have the balls to not pigeonhole yourself, because that's a whole thing that I had to, like, people ask me how come I don't do certain things no more. It's like, why? Because I want to move on, bro. Like, there's other things I want to do. Like, I don't want to keep myself here to keep people happy, because, like, bro, this is my art, dude. Like, what do you know?
Yep. Nah, dude, I feel that.
Yeah, it's a whole weird dynamic.
Yeah. As an artist, this is that for me, right? Like, if I think about, even when I was first brainstorming this, I was only going to be like interviewing martial artists and fighters and that whole vibe, right? But then again, I'd be pigeonholing myself, you know? And if I think about the content that I've produced beforehand, not that I ever leaned into any content fully, but they're all martial arts related, movement related, kind of that stuff. And it's like, this is a completely different territory for me. Not a completely different territory for me. Like, I like to have conversations. I feel like there's a lot to share in that, but this art that I'm creating, like, pretty much if you like go onto my Instagram now, like, all you see is me having conversations with people. Like, it's not me just fucking kicking the bag or fucking doing this anymore. And it may not resonate with everybody, you know?
No,
but as an artist,
exactly.
this is the art that I want to create. You know what I mean? This is the content that I want to create now. Maybe it is only for 5 years. Maybe it's for 5 months. Maybe it's fucking for 10 years. Who knows? But right now, this is what's driving me. This is what I'm passionate about. So just fucking...
See, that's exactly what I mean, though, because this is a moment in time right here.
Yep.
There's no promising this is going to be here.
Right.
But this exists, and it's, you know, it's here and to stamp this moment, you know? Because not everyone sees art that way. You know, and unless you actually, like, look into art, because, like, when you, like, study certain artists, like Pablo Picasso, for instance, you ever see that some of his early work was actually really detailed?
I actually haven't seen much of his early work.
Yeah, so there was a time before he did all his crazy, like, abstract cubism shit. He was actually painting like the normal people would, and then eventually he did what he's known for.
Right.
But then, like, you know, some people look back at his old stuff like, wow, this is Picasso during this moment in time. Because he did change, and he's allowed to change, you know? And I feel like as an artist, you do gotta, at some point, like, know what you want to do. If you do want to pigeonhole yourself, that was a decision, you know?
Right.
It
was a conscious decision.
That was a conscious decision. Because there's nothing wrong with specializing, but if that's your conscious decision, then that's fine. But if there's like a part of you that's feeling a little just uneasy and unhappy, go do something else real quick to see where you could evolve to.
Yeah.
Because you don't know where that's going to go.
Right.
You know?
Right.
You have no clue.
Okay, so let's use this because I just want to be mindful of time. It's almost 11 o'clock.
Bet.
And I know you got school.
Yeah, I actually do got school.
And talking about school. And we're about to go in there, and I'm about to get faded up real quick. So let's kind of just to wrap this up, man, because I feel like what I've noticed is pretty much this conversation has been about art, which obviously, because we're both artists, you know what I mean?
Sure.
And we get to share this lens on how we see life. So if you were to leave the people with any last words or any last thoughts on whether it's being an artist or, I don't know, anything of that nature, maybe it's a message to other artists, maybe it's a message to non-artists about practicing art, like, what's something you'd want to leave with the people, man?
Damn, that's a loaded question.
And you could take your time on that to think about that for a second.
Well, if you are an artist, one, keep at it. Definitely keep at it, because we need more people doing it. Especially in this era of AI shit, you know? Like, AI has its uses. It definitely is a tool, but I feel like if you're an artist, we got to double down now. Like, you know, like, there's things that AI cannot bring to life. They could generate things, but that's not, like I had this crazy AI conversation with the same homie, the architecture homie. We was in the car for 3-4 hours just chopping it up about AI, and then I brought up this thing where I don't think art is even about creation anymore. There was a time I used to think the point of art was to create, but now I feel like it's to transmute experience. Yeah, just to really transmute your own life into something. And that is something a machine just cannot do.
Goddamn.
Like, what has this machine experienced to have other humans empathize with it? It does not have that. That's why when you see some AI art, it might look cool, but there's a bit of soul that's literally not there, you know?
A little bit of soul that's not there, or there's just no soul at all.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I was like, as an artist out there, do not be discouraged about, like, whatever's going on. If anything, double down. Because show the humanity with whatever you're doing, because these machines can't replicate that, you know?
Yep.
Yeah, there's definitely that, because that's like a whole thing right now. But when it all happened, I was like, all right, tight. That just means I'm gonna paint more, you know?
Yeah. It's not gonna stop you from being you.
No, not at all. You know, so artists out there, keep at it. Other creatives out there who aren't even technically artists, whatever, because they're all artists in their way. Keep at it, and then possibly, there's this book I read. You ever peep this Robert Greene book, Mastery or something like that?
No, but I've actually heard of that book.
Out of all Robert Greene books, that's the one I do recommend, because there was a moment in time he explains, like, there was this person who was into something, and then she pivoted to something else for whatever reason. Years down the line, she put it together, and it just blew everyone's mind. So if you're into something, get into something else. You never know. You never know what outside of your own craft, your own trade might inspire you to lead down another direction we might not even know about.
Right.
Because there's so much uncovered stuff that we don't know about until someone tries, you know?
I feel that.
Yeah,
I feel that.
Yeah, yeah, who knows, man?
Yeah. We're cut from the same cloth, man.
That's facts, dude.
Bro, Rich, I appreciate you, dog.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you for being on the podcast, dog.
Hell yeah, it's an honor, bro.
Yeah. Keep creating art, motherfuckers.
Facts, keep at it.
Yep, we're about to slide into the barbershop. I'll catch y'all in the next one.
Yeah.
Record on your mic.
Oh, hit it up again? Okay, yeah, I got you. Yup.
Oh, my forehead's all fucking sweaty.
Shit,
Yo, we just finished podcasting. About to head into Lion's Mane right here. Oh. Ta-da. You can come on down, dog.
Hell yeah.
Shoes are right there.
I like how work's ready for me to go. Just like that, dude.
All right, I'm gonna follow you in. Hold on. Sorry, guys. You know how I roll. I'll be figuring it out as I go. All right, we need that. Oh yeah, baby.
Hell yeah. Morning, y'all.
Yeah.
How you doing?
King of Lions Man right here. What up?
Oh, shit. Damn, I'll figure that out.
What up, man?
How you doing, bro? Hey, what's up?
York in the building. It's my normal barber right here. What up? Good morning. Yes, sir.
How you doing? It's nice and cold in here. That's
What
what's
up,
up.
fellas? What up? What up? All right. Where should we set
Step into
up?
my office, man.
Hell yeah.
Also, I will show you these. Maybe you could stitch this in
Oh,
somewhere,
let's do this right now. Hold
somewhere
on.
later in the fucking... Because you did mention the bar, right?
Yeah.
Here is that bar.
Oh, bro, this is so much bigger in real life than when you posted on Instagram.
Yo.
We'll get this a real one. Oh, dude, this is...
Yeah, so this is just like a bunch of, like, you know, plein air stuff that I brought together. But some of these are actually old. This is the only recent one I did. Because the ones you're probably thinking of are in the other book.
Dude, fresh.
So here's the plein air book we got here. So this is probably what you're talking about. Hella small.
Dude.
We got OG Cam hung right here. This is actually a Union City beach. I won't elaborate. It's kind of secret. And here's actually an old photo of Sensei's backyard that I was talking about.
I was just gonna ask when I saw that, like, damn.
Yeah, I took this photo a couple years ago. And now that I don't even know if it's there, I was like, I gotta paint it, man. You just don't know. And I think, yup.
Fresh.
think that's it for now, but it's hella crazy. You might have seen the sketch before I did it for real.
I've seen that sketch.
Yeah, this sketch right before I like repainted it.
Yo, all right, we're about to get cut up. I could leave these glasses right here.
Yeah, that's fine. Yep. Hell yeah, man.
Hell yeah.